Right now, this very moment, place your hand gently over your heart. Feel the warmth of your palm against your chest. Feel the steady rhythm beating beneath your fingertips. That heartbeat is not just a physical pulse, it is the drum of infinite life, the sacred rhythm of divine intelligence expressing itself as you. And I want you to understand something that will change everything you believe about healing, about wholeness, about the power that already lives within you. Your heart is not merely a muscle pumping blood through your veins. Your heart is the gateway, the sacred temple where the infinite healing intelligence of the universe meets your human experience. And today, I am going to share with you a divine code, an ancient spiritual truth that has been hidden in plain sight for thousands of years. A truth that the greatest mystics, the most enlightened teachers, and the deepest spiritual traditions have all pointed toward in their own unique ways. This is the divine code of healing, and when you understand it, when you truly grasp the simplicity and the profound power of this truth, you will never again feel helpless in the face of illness, pain, suffering, or any condition that seems to limit your physical body or your life experience. For decades I have studied the nature of the subconscious mind, the power of prayer, the invisible laws that govern health and disease, prosperity and poverty, happiness and suffering. And what I have discovered, what I have witnessed in thousands upon thousands of lives, is that healing is not something that happens to you from the outside. Healing is not something you must beg for, chase after, or desperately hope will arrive someday if you are lucky enough or good enough or worthy enough. No, my friend. Healing is your divine birthright. Healing is the natural state of your being. And the only reason you ever experience anything less than perfect, radiant health, is because somewhere along the way, you have accepted into your subconscious mind a belief, a feeling, a mental pattern that contradicts the truth of your divine perfection. Your body is not separate from your mind. Your flesh is not disconnected from your spirit. You are not a physical being trying to have a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being, an eternal expression of infinite life temporarily manifesting in physical form. And the intelligence that created your body, the wisdom that formed every cell, every organ, every intricate system, without any conscious effort from you, that same intelligence is present within you right now, ready and willing and perfectly capable of restoring you to perfect health, to complete wholeness, to radiant vitality. But here is what most people do not understand. This infinite healing intelligence, this divine presence within you, cannot override your habitual thinking. It cannot contradict what you have accepted as true in the depths of your subconscious mind. The law of mind is impersonal, neutral, mathematical in its precision. Whatever you impress upon your subconscious mind with feeling, with conviction, with repetition, that is what will manifest in your body and in your life experience. So when I tell you to touch your heart and speak the divine code of healing, I am not asking you to engage in positive thinking or wishful fantasy or some superficial affirmation that contradicts what you see and feel. I am inviting you into a deeper truth, into the recognition of what is already eternally true about you beneath all appearances, beneath all symptoms, beneath all medical diagnoses and limiting beliefs. I am inviting you to align your conscious thinking with the infinite intelligence that breathes you, that heals every cut without your instruction, that replaces millions of cells every single day without your conscious involvement. This intelligence knows only wholeness. It knows only perfection. It knows only life expressing itself fully, freely, beautifully. And when you touch your heart and speak from that sacred place, you are not trying to create healing, you are not trying to force something to happen. You are simply removing the mental blocks, dissolving the false beliefs, clearing away the accumulated fears and doubts, and negative suggestions that have been preventing the natural flow of divine life through your entire being. Your subconscious mind is impersonal. It does not care whether you tell it you are sick or well, strong or weak, successful or failing. It accepts what you impress upon it. If you constantly say, "I'm always tired, I never have enough energy, my body is weak," your subconscious mind says, "Yes, Master, I hear and obey. It begins to create the conditions that match your words. But when you reverse this, when you begin to affirm with feeling, divine life flows through every cell of my body. I am strong, vibrant, and whole. Your subconscious mind accepts this new instruction with equal faithfulness. It begins immediately to reorganize, to reconstruct, to restore. This is not positive thinking in the shallow sense. This is not pretending or wishful thinking. This is understanding the law of mind, the creative principle that governs all manifestation. Your subconscious mind is the builder of your body. It knows how to heal a cut on your finger without your conscious interference. It knows how to digest your food, circulate your blood, and eliminate toxins. It has infinite intelligence. And when you consciously direct it with faith-filled words and mental images of perfect health, you are cooperating with this infinite healing intelligence, rather than opposing it with fear and doubt. I want you to understand something profound about the nature of your being. Your body is not solid matter separated from mind. Science itself now tells us that matter is energy, that the body is a pattern of vibrations, a flow of life force constantly being renewed. Every atom in your body was not there 7 years ago. You are literally creating a new body every moment through the activity of your mind working through your subconscious. What you believe about your body, what you feel about your health, what you mentally accept as true, these are the patterns your subconscious uses to rebuild and renew your physical form. This is why spontaneous healing occurs. This is why people sometimes recover from conditions that medicine considered hopeless. The subconscious mind, properly directed, properly instructed, can do what seems miraculous to the conscious mind. But it is not a miracle in the sense of breaking natural law. It is the working of a higher law, the law of mind, which supersedes the limited observations of physical conditions. Now here is where many people stumble. They try this for a day or two. They affirm health, they visualize wholeness, and then they check to see if anything has changed. When they don't see immediate physical results, they become discouraged and return to their old patterns of negative thinking. But you must understand, your current physical condition is the result of your habitual thinking over weeks, months, perhaps years. You cannot expect to reverse deeply established patterns overnight. You must be persistent. You must be faithful. You must continue impressing the subconscious with the truth of your divine wholeness, regardless of what the external conditions appear to be. This is what the Bible means when it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You are building the invisible foundation upon which the visible healing will manifest. You are creating the mental equivalent of health in your consciousness before it appears in your body. Many people make the mistake of working with their mind for a few days, feeling somewhat better, and then abandoning the practice the moment symptoms reappear. This is like planting a seed, digging it up every few days to see if it's growing, and then complaining when nothing blooms. You must allow the seed of health to take root in the deep soil of your subconscious mind. You must water it daily with conviction, faith, and feeling. Your subconscious mind is like a faithful servant. It says yes to everything you tell it with conviction and feeling. If you tell it with feeling, I am sick, this will never heal, I am getting worse, it says yes and proceeds to create more of that experience. But when you tell it with feeling, I am whole, I am healed, the infinite healing presence is flowing through me now, it also says yes and begins to manifest that reality in your body. The subconscious does not argue, it does not question, it simply accepts what you impress upon it and brings it to pass. This is why you must become the guardian of your own mind. You must watch your thoughts as carefully as you would guard a precious treasure, because your thoughts are the most precious thing you possess. They are the creative medium through which the infinite intelligence operates in your life. Now, you may ask, what about medical treatment? What about doctors and medicine? Should I reject these while working with the power of mind? Absolutely not. This is not an either-or proposition. The infinite intelligence works through many channels. It works through the skill of physicians, through the knowledge of medical science, through the healing properties of medicine, and through the direct action of your subconscious mind. You should use every constructive means available to you. But here is the key. Even as you work with medical treatment, keep your mind focused on the healing power within you. See the doctor as an instrument through which the infinite healing presence works. See the medicine as a channel for divine restoration. Bless your treatment with conviction that it is being used by the one infinite intelligence to heal you completely. In this way, you multiply the effectiveness of every medical intervention. I have seen remarkable cases where people combined medical treatment with mental and spiritual treatment and experienced what doctors called miraculous recoveries. The two approaches work together beautifully when you understand that there is only one healing power, and it can work through multiple channels simultaneously. The great physician within you is always working for your healing. Right now, as you read these words, there are billions of cells in your body working in perfect harmony to maintain your health. Your heart is beating without your conscious direction. Your lungs are breathing. Your digestive system is processing nutrients. All of this is happening automatically through the infinite intelligence operating in your subconscious mind. This same intelligence that keeps your heart beating and your lungs breathing can heal any condition in your body when you consciously cooperate with it. You cooperate by accepting its presence, by believing in its power, and by maintaining a mental attitude of health, wholeness, and divine perfection. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue with you. It doesn't question whether your thoughts are true or false, good or bad, constructive or destructive. It simply accepts what you impress upon it. This is why the thoughts you habitually think and the beliefs you hold are of supreme importance. If you repeatedly think thoughts of limitation, lack, and disease, your subconscious accepts these patterns as your requests and proceeds to manifest conditions that correspond to them. But here's the magnificent truth that changes everything. You can choose your thoughts. You can select what you will accept and impress upon your subconscious mind. Right now, in this present moment, you have the power to reject every negative thought and replace it with its positive equivalent. When a thought of fear enters your consciousness, you don't have to entertain it. You can immediately substitute it with a thought of faith. When worry knocks at your door, you can answer with confidence and trust. This isn't about denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. This is about understanding that your inner world creates your outer world, and that you have dominion over your inner kingdom. A person diagnosed with a serious illness isn't helped by dwelling on the diagnosis, by imagining worst-case scenarios, or by surrendering to fear. Instead, they are helped by turning to the infinite healing presence within, by visualizing perfect health, by feeling the reality of wholeness, and by giving thanks for the healing that is taking place even before physical evidence appears. I knew a woman who was told by doctors that her condition was irreversible. The medical professionals had done everything in their power, and according to all their knowledge and experience, there was no hope for recovery. But this woman had learned the truth about her subconscious mind. She began a simple practice every night before sleep. She would relax completely, enter a drowsy, meditative state, and then repeat the feeling, "My subconscious mind is restoring every cell, tissue, and organ to perfect health. Divine order is being established throughout my entire being. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy." She didn't just say these words mechanically. She felt them. She imagined the healing taking place. She pictured herself completely well, active, and vibrant. She gave thanks for her healing as though it had already occurred. Night after night, she impressed these thoughts upon her subconscious mind just before sleep, when the conscious mind's critical faculty is most relaxed and the subconscious is most receptive. Within weeks, she noticed improvements. Within months, the doctors were amazed. Within a year, every test showed complete normalization. The doctors called it spontaneous remission, a medical mystery. But there was no mystery. She had simply cooperated with the infinite healing presence within her own subconscious mind. She had used the law correctly, and the law had responded exactly as it always does by manifesting in the outer world what was consistently impressed upon the inner world. You have this same power. You possess this same infinite intelligence within you right now. The question is not whether it will work for you, it works for everyone, because it is law. The question is whether you will use it consciously and constructively, or whether you will continue to use it unconsciously and destructively, through fear, doubt, and negative thinking. Every moment of every day, you are using this power. When you say, "I can't afford that," your subconscious accepts it as an instruction and proceeds to make it true in your experience. When you say, "I always get sick in the winter," you are giving your subconscious mind a command, and it faithfully executes that command by lowering your immunity and attracting illness. When you say, "I'm too old to start over," "I'm not smart enough," or "success isn't for people like me," you are programming your inner computer with limitations that have no basis in reality. The beautiful truth is that you can reprogram this inner computer at any time. You can begin right now, in this very moment, to feed your subconscious mind new instructions, new beliefs, new convictions that align with the life you truly desire. This is not wishful thinking, this is scientific prayer, the conscious direction of the creative power within you. I have seen people transform terminal diagnoses into complete recoveries by changing their inner conversations. I have witnessed individuals rise from bankruptcy to abundance by altering their mental attitude about money. I have watched broken relationships heal when one person decided to change their thoughts about the other. None of this is miraculous in the sense of breaking natural law. It is miraculous in the sense that it demonstrates the magnificent power of natural law, when properly understood and applied. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It never sleeps, it never takes a vacation. Right now, as you listen to these words, it is recording every thought, every feeling, every conviction you hold. It doesn't judge whether your thoughts are good or bad, wise or foolish, constructive or destructive. It simply accepts them as instructions and begins to manifest them in your outer world. This is why you must become the guardian of your own mind. You must stand watch at the door of your consciousness and refuse entrance to any thought that does not align with your highest good. This doesn't mean denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. It means refusing to give power to appearances, refusing to accept current conditions as permanent, and maintaining your mental focus on the outcome you desire. Think of a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't dig up the seeds every day to see if they're growing. He doesn't stand over his field, worrying and fretting. He plants the seeds with confidence, knowing that the laws of nature will do their perfect work. He waters them, provides the right conditions, and then allows the invisible process of growth to occur. You must do the same with your mental seeds. When you plant a desire in your subconscious mind through clear mental imagery and feeling, you must then leave it alone. You must have faith in the process. You must know that the infinite intelligence within you is now working on your behalf, arranging circumstances, attracting the right people, opening doors, and bringing about the perfect conditions for your desire to manifest in physical form. But here is where most people fail. They plant the seed of their desire one moment, then dig it up with doubt the next moment. They affirm prosperity in the morning, then worry about bills in the afternoon. They visualize health, then immediately begin discussing their symptoms. They claim success is theirs, then tell everyone how difficult their situation is. This is like planting seeds and immediately pouring poison on them. Your subconscious mind doesn't understand you're just being realistic or venting. It only receives impressions. When you constantly contradict your affirmations with worry-filled conversations, you're sending mixed signals to the most powerful creative force within you. I've seen this pattern destroy more dreams than any external circumstance ever could. A woman comes to me, excited about her new business venture. She's been affirming abundance and visualizing success. But then I listen to her speak with friends, and what do I hear? "I'm trying to start this business, but the economy is terrible. I don't know if people will buy. I'm so worried about failing." Every word is a seed of failure planted in the fertile soil of her subconscious mind. The ancient wisdom teaches us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. This isn't metaphorical poetry. This is literal truth about how your creative mechanism operates. Your words are not just sounds vibrating in the air. They are creative forces that shape your internal world, which then manifests as your external reality. Here's what I want you to understand deeply. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot worship at the altar of your vision while simultaneously paying homage to your fears. One must be dismissed. One must be starved of your attention and emotional energy. When you catch yourself about to contradict your desire, stop. Pause. Recognize what you're doing. You're about to sabotage your own demonstration. You're about to cancel your order with the universe. Would you place an order at a restaurant? Then immediately call the kitchen to cancel it? Then call again to reorder? Then cancel again? Of course not. Yet this is precisely what people do with their subconscious minds all day long. The solution is vigilance, not the vigilance of tension and stress, but the relaxed awareness of a gardener who knows that weeds must be pulled when they're small. When a negative thought arises, don't fight it, don't condemn yourself. Simply refuse to give it the power of your emotional investment and verbal expression. Let it pass through like a cloud across the sky. Replace it immediately with the truth you're establishing. If worry about money comes, return instantly to your affirmation of abundance. If fear about health surfaces, immediately recall the feeling of perfect vitality. This is the discipline that separates those who occasionally stumble into good fortune from those who consistently demonstrate their desires. I worked with a man who had been sick for years. He would affirm health every morning for 10 minutes, then spend the remaining hours of his day discussing his symptoms with anyone who would listen. He would research his disease online, join forums to compare symptoms, and call family members to report every ache and pain. Then he wondered why his affirmations weren't working. I told him directly, your 10 minutes of affirmation cannot compete with your 16 waking hours of dwelling in illness. You're voting for sickness in every conversation, every search, every worried thought. When he finally understood this, when he finally disciplined his speech and attention, his healing began in earnest. Your subconscious mind is listening to everything. It hears what you say to others. It feels what you really believe beneath your words. It knows whether you're truly committed to your vision, or merely playing with affirmations as a hobby while remaining fundamentally identified with your problems. This is why I say guard your speech as you would guard a treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Your words are the treasure map leading you either to your promised land or into the wilderness of perpetual struggle. Your subconscious mind is listening to every word that passes your lips, and it's making decisions about what kind of experiences to create for you based on that consistent input. When you say, I can't afford it, your subconscious doesn't debate the accuracy of that statement. It simply accepts it as a command and begins arranging circumstances to confirm your declaration. When you say, I never get lucky, you've just programmed your internal guidance system to ensure you miss opportunities and overlook blessings. This isn't punishment from the universe. This is the mechanical operation of your own creative power working against you because you've given it the wrong instructions. Think of it this way. If you hired a personal assistant and spent all day telling them, I'm disorganized, I'm always late, I can't remember anything, that assistant would eventually stop trying to help you improve. They would begin managing you as the disorganized, forgetful person you claim to be. Your subconscious mind is your personal assistant, infinitely more powerful than any human helper, and it takes your self-descriptions as job requirements. It will faithfully execute whatever identity you consistently claim through your words. This is why successful people throughout history have been so careful with their language. They understood instinctively what I'm teaching you scientifically. They spoke of their goals as already accomplished. They described their challenges in terms that implied solutions were on the way. They refused to participate in collective complaints and negative prophecies, even when everyone around them was drowning in pessimism. They knew that their words were not just describing their reality, their words were creating it. I want you to become conscious of something you've been doing unconsciously, reinforcing limitation through casual conversation. Listen to yourself for just one day. Count how many times you use phrases like, I can't, I'm not, I'll never, That's just how I am. I always, in negative contexts. These aren't neutral observations. These are creative declarations, and they're binding you to circumstances that don't serve you. Every time you describe yourself in limiting terms, even casually, even jokingly, you're sending a blueprint to the master builder within you, and that builder is constructing your tomorrow based on the plans you provide today. But here's the magnificent truth that will set you free. You can change your programming right now by changing your words. You don't need permission. You don't need therapy for years to uncover the roots of your negative speech patterns. You simply need to make a decision and enforce it. From this moment forward, you can choose to speak only words that align with what you want to experience. This doesn't mean lying about your current circumstances. It means refusing to give those circumstances permanent status through your declarations. Instead of saying, "I'm broke," you say, "I'm in the process of improving my finances." Instead of, "I'm so unlucky," you say, "Good things are coming to me." Instead of, "I can't do this," you say, "I'm learning how to do this." Do you see the difference? You're not denying current reality, but you're also not cementing it as your permanent identity. You're acknowledging where you are while simultaneously opening the door to where you're going. You're creating what I call the language of transition. You're speaking from the bridge, not from the destination, but definitely no longer from the place you're leaving behind. And your subconscious mind responds beautifully to this middle ground, because it doesn't trigger the resistance that absolute statements often do. When you say, "I am a millionaire but have $17 in your bank account," a part of your mind screams liar and rejects the entire suggestion. But when you say, "I'm improving my relationship with money," your mind can accept that. It's true in this moment. You're thinking about it. You're working on it. You're taking steps, however small. There's no internal conflict, no cognitive dissonance pushing back against your intention. This is why affirmations fail for so many people. They jump too far, too fast. They try to leap from, "I hate my body," to, "I have a perfect body" in one sentence, and their subconscious mind simply won't buy it. The gap is too wide, the contradiction too obvious. But if you say, "I'm learning to appreciate my body more each day," or "I'm making choices that honor my health," now you're speaking a language your deeper mind can accept and build upon. Think about it like tuning a radio. You don't go from static to crystal clear signal instantaneously. You dial slowly, gradually, finding the frequency. Your words are that dial. And when you use bridging language, you're moving the dial smoothly, naturally, without jarring disruptions. You're allowing your subconscious to adjust, to recalibrate, to find the new frequency without shock or resistance. Let me share something powerful with you. Every time you use these transitional phrases, you're doing two things simultaneously. First, you're loosening the grip of the old pattern. Second, you're laying the foundation for the new one. It's like you're gently prying your fingers off one trapeze bar while reaching for the next. You're not letting go completely until you have something else to hold on to. And here's where it gets really interesting. As you continue using this bridging language, day after day, something remarkable happens. The bridge itself becomes your new reality. "I'm improving my finances" stops being just a hopeful statement and becomes an observable fact. Money situations start shifting. Opportunities appear. Your relationship with finances transforms. And then, almost without noticing, you're no longer on the bridge, you've crossed it. You've arrived at a new shore, a new reality, a new version of yourself. But you didn't force it. You didn't strain against your own psychology. You worked with it, not against it. Now, let's talk about something that trips people up constantly. The role of emotion in all of this. Because you can say all the right words, use all the perfect phrases, but if there's no feeling behind them, you're just making noise. Words without emotion are like seeds without water. They might sit there, but they won't grow. Your subconscious mind doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to words plus feeling. It's the feeling that gives the words their power, their magnetic quality, their ability to penetrate deep into your consciousness and rearrange the furniture of your mind. Think of it like this. You could say, I am wealthy 1,000 times, while feeling poor, anxious, and desperate, and your subconscious would ignore every single word. Why? Because the feeling you're broadcasting is poverty, the emotion is lack, and your subconscious always accepts the feeling as the truth, not the words. But when you say, I am wealthy, while actually feeling the satisfaction, the ease, the gratitude of abundance, something magical happens. Your subconscious says, yes, this is true. This is who we are. And it immediately begins to reorganize your life to match that feeling. This is why affirmations fail for most people. They're repeating words mechanically, like robots, with no emotional involvement whatsoever. They're saying, I am confident, while their stomach churns with anxiety. They're declaring, I am successful, while visualizing all their past failures. And then they wonder why nothing changes. The secret is to saturate your words with feeling, to marry the conscious declaration with the subconscious acceptance, to unite thought and emotion in a holy alliance that commands your inner powers to action. Let me give you a technique that changes everything. Before you do your affirmations, before you visualize, before you do anything, take a moment to generate the feeling first. Don't try to feel abundant while saying you're abundant. Feel abundant first, then speak from that place. How do you generate the feeling? Simple. Remember a time when you felt the way you want to feel now. Maybe you want to feel confident. Close your eyes and remember a moment when you felt absolutely certain of yourself. Maybe you were 10 years old and you won a race. Maybe you were 20 and you aced a presentation. The specific memory doesn't matter. What matters is that you felt confident. Sink into that memory. Don't just think about it, relive it. See what you saw. Hear what you heard. Feel what you felt. Let that confidence wash over you again, filling every cell of your body. And when that feeling is alive in you, when it's real and present, then speak your affirmation. Then do your visualization. Then give thanks for your answered prayer. Do you see the difference? You're not trying to convince yourself. You're speaking from a place of already being convinced. You're not faking it. You're activating a genuine feeling that already exists within you, and then directing that feeling toward your desire. This is the difference between affirmation and affliction, between prayer and pretense, between transformation and torture. And here's what's beautiful. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to generate any feeling you choose. Your emotional range expands. Your emotional control deepens. You discover that you are not a victim of your feelings, you are the creator of them. You begin to understand that feelings are not things that happen to you. They are things you do. They are choices you make, consciously or unconsciously. And when you learn to choose them consciously, to generate them deliberately, you become truly powerful. Now let me address something important. Some of you might be thinking, but isn't this manipulation? Isn't this being fake? Shouldn't I just feel whatever I naturally feel? Here's the truth. You're already choosing your feelings, but you're choosing them unconsciously, out of habit. You've trained yourself to feel anxious when someone doesn't text back. You've trained yourself to feel resentful when things don't go your way. You've trained yourself to feel inadequate when you compare yourself to others. These aren't natural responses, they're learned patterns stored in your subconscious mind. So when I tell you to choose your feelings consciously, I'm not asking you to be fake. I'm asking you to be intentional. I'm asking you to take control of the programming instead of letting the old programming control you. Think about it this way. If you walk into your home and it's cold, you don't sit there and say, well, I shouldn't manipulate the temperature. I should just accept whatever temperature naturally occurs. No, you adjust the thermostat. You choose the environment you want to live in. Your emotional state works the same way. You have a thermostat in your mind, and you can adjust it. You can decide, I'm going to operate from a state of peace today. I'm going to operate from a state of confidence. I'm going to operate from a state of appreciation. And here's what happens when you do this. Your external world begins to shift. Not because you're forcing it, not because you're faking it, but because your subconscious mind responds to the feelings you consistently hold, and it begins to attract circumstances that match those feelings. Let me give you a real example from my own life. Years ago, I went through a period where I felt constantly overlooked at work. I'd submit ideas, and they'd be ignored. I'd contribute to meetings and no one seemed to hear me. I felt invisible. For months, I blamed my boss, I blamed my colleagues, I blamed the company culture. And the more I focused on feeling overlooked, the more evidence I found to support it. It became a vicious cycle. Then I learned about this principle. I learned that my dominant feeling was creating my experience. So I made a decision. Every morning before work, I would spend 10 minutes feeling valued, not thinking about being valued, feeling it. I would imagine my ideas being received with enthusiasm. I would imagine my contributions making a real difference. I would let that feeling of being appreciated fill my entire being. I didn't change anything about my behavior at work. I didn't become more aggressive or start promoting myself differently. I just changed my inner feeling state. Within 3 weeks, my manager called me into her office and asked me to lead a major project. Within 2 months, I was presenting to the executive team. Within 6 months, I received a promotion. Did the external circumstances create the feeling? No. The feeling created the circumstances. This is the secret that most people never discover. They wait for life to give them a reason to feel good. They wait for success to feel confident. They wait for love to feel lovable. They wait for money to feel abundant. But the universe doesn't work that way. Your subconscious mind doesn't work that way. The feeling must come first. The feeling is the cause. The external manifestation is the effect. Now, you might be wondering, how do I maintain this feeling when everything around me seems to contradict it? How do I feel abundant when my bank account is empty? How do I feel loved when I'm alone? How do I feel successful when I'm just starting out? This is where the real practice begins. This is where you learn to live from the inside out instead of the outside in. You start by practicing in small, private moments. When you wake up in the morning, before the world rushes in with its demands and disappointments, you lie there for just 60 seconds and you feel it. You feel what it would be like if everything you wanted was already done. Not someday, not when you finally achieve it. Right now, you're not visualizing some distant celebration. You're feeling the quiet satisfaction of already being that person. The person who doesn't need to prove anything. The person who moves through the world with calm certainty. The person who has already arrived. This is the secret that eludes most people. They think feeling successful means feeling ecstatic, pumped up, artificially high. But true success feels like peace. It feels like knowing. It feels like the quiet confidence of someone who doesn't question whether they belong, because they've already claimed their place in their own consciousness. You practice this feeling when you're alone in your car, when you're washing dishes, when you're walking down the street. You don't announce it, you don't perform it for anyone else. You simply embody it. You move a little differently, you breathe a little deeper, you make decisions from that place of already having what you seek. And here's what happens. The external world, which has no choice but to reflect your inner state, begins to shift. Not because you're forcing it, not because you're hustling harder or manipulating circumstances, but because you've changed the signal you're broadcasting, you've changed the frequency you're tuning into. Opportunities that were always there suddenly become visible. People respond to you differently, though they can't explain why. Doors open, not through effort but through alignment. You're not chasing success anymore. You're allowing it to catch up with the version of yourself you've already become internally. This is what I mean by living from the end. It's not a technique you apply occasionally. It's a way of being you adopt permanently. It's how you move through every moment of your life, regardless of what the mirror of circumstances is currently reflecting back to you. But let me be honest with you. This isn't easy at first. Your rational mind will fight you every step of the way. It will present you with evidence. It will remind you of your bank account, your failures, your limitations. It will say, "Who are you kidding? Look at your actual life." And this is the moment where most people break. This is where they abandon the inner work and go back to the exhausting cycle of trying to force external change. They take that evidence seriously. They let current conditions dictate their inner state. But you cannot afford to do this. You cannot let the outside world tell you who you are, because the outside world is only showing you who you've been. It's a delayed reflection of your previous thoughts, your previous feelings, your previous assumptions about yourself. If you want to see something different reflected back, you must first become something different within. And you must hold that new inner state with such conviction that the old external conditions have no choice but to dissolve and reshape themselves. Think of it this way. When you look in a mirror and you don't like what you see,